Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star episode number 158 based on novel. So let's start. Pure Feather Family. Luo Feng smiled. Who? His entire being vanished into the wind, without a trace or sound, entering deep into the luxurious mansion. Pure Feather Mansion took up 10 kilometers in area. It was split into the outer mansion and inner mansion. The outer mansion were for lower or more ordinary members of the family, hence the security around there was more lax. However, it was obvious that the security around the inner mansion was tighter. A black-robed man took 3 simple steps. Within the dark vegetation, walls, walkways, 3 images appeared, and he had already reached near the inner mansion. The Blood River Crystal mission is one of the dangerous missions. It won't be that easy to acquire it. Luo Feng half squatted below a huge rock. His gaze swept the area and his spirit energy connected with the universe space, feeling the surrounding life energies. The energies within the inner mansion is obviously much stronger. Just the universe levels alone, there are quite a few. To wander in casually was impossible. Luo Feng was incomparably serious. As he unleashed his illusionary movement, his entire being became a silhouette in the dark night, almost like a tiger with wings, and he swiftly entered the inner mansion. Be serious, don't look like you are falling asleep. Captain, who would dare invade the Pure Feather Family mansion? There's no need to be that serious. Not being serious is fine, however you still have to at least put up an act. Otherwise it'll be bad if you are discovered. I am saying this for your own good. A guard team was patrolling the inner mansion, the guards were walking and communicating. From behind them, a blurry silhouette swiftly flashed past them, reaching deeper into the inner mansion. When Luo Feng used the illusionary movement, he was even harder to detect. Plus, he was following the flow of the universe space and dodged all the dark sentries. However, this had shocked Luo Feng, as the security was extremely tight. The second most powerful family next to the city leader's family was definitely no joke. Ahead is that useless advisor's living quarters. Luo Feng stuck to the stone pillar in the walkway. Almost like a shadow, his eyes were gazing coldly at the distant quiet quarters. Luo Feng resonated with the ripples of the universe space, forming 3 peculiar arcs, and entered the quiet pavilion. Pavilion 2nd level. Dressed in a white robe, a pale skinny man sat at his study desk, thinking about something. There was definitely a large group of tacticians in these large families, as such business families favored these tacticians more. As for this white-robed man, he was the Pure Feather family's highest-ranking tactician, the most favored Yukuchi. He held an extremely high position in the family. Just from his quarters being in the inner mansion, and having such a big and quiet pavilion, one could see his status. Yukuchi. A voice resounded. HM. The white-robed man trembled. He turned to look behind him, where stood a black-robed black-haired man. Master. The white-robed man bowed respectfully, his eyes filled with a burning loyalty. Luo Feng nodded. These past 6 days, in order to get every detail on the Pure Feather family, he planned carefully and studied from many angles, and did not just rely on the general information he got from the city systems. He had also used soul control techniques on a few important people within the family to do a proper check. As for these soul techniques, his teacher, the master of the Yunmo planet, Huyang Bo, who specialized in the soul aspect, had great accomplishments in them. He could even do slave imprints. Naturally there were many other lesser techniques. And the Time-Space Scribbles first book too had many soul techniques. Against this white-robed man, he had only used a technique akin to hypnosis. I want to see your family leader now, are you ready? Luo Feng asked. Please relax, master, I am the trusted aide of the family leader, he has complete trust in me. Even if I wanted to see him late at night, it won't be a problem. The white-robed Yukuchi was extremely confident. You lead the way. Luo Feng said. Yes. The white-robed Yukuchi said respectfully, master only has to follow behind me. Following which, he immediately went downstairs with Luo Feng following him. Creak. After opening the door, Yukuchi brought Luo Feng about publicly. Walking along the walkways, they were extremely silent. Luo Feng could see a guard team in the distance walking over. The leader of the team looked at the white-robed man and smiled, Mr. Yu. Yukuchi nodded indifferently. The guard team didn't even question who was the black-robed man and left. Yu Kuchi communicated mentally, Master, please relax, because of the occasional important matters. I would have talks with the family leader late at night. I would also occasionally bring people to meet him. Even though I am usually instructed to bring these people, the guards don't know anything. Hence, there's absolutely no problem in me bringing someone along. Luo Feng nodded. They continued. One level after another. Luo Feng simply walked about openly from sentry to sentry. They didn't even have any reaction. No matter what, the two of them continued deeper into the mansion. The deeper we go, the tighter the security is. Even if I wished to enter here without anyone noticing me, it would be impossible. Luo Feng looked ahead at the vast surroundings. With just a glance, he was able to determine that there were at least 1,000 people patrolling. Obviously, they had already reached the family's core. Open the door. Yu Kuchi shouted. Yes, Mr. Yu, please wait a moment. Immediately the guards opened the door. Under the surveillance of 1,000 guards, Yu Kuchi brought Luo Feng into the core of the mansion. Master, this is already the core area of the family. The family leader, the important disciples and a few absolute powers, treasure troves, dojo etc. are all here. Yu Kuchi communicated. The family leader's living quarters isn't far from here. At last, we've arrived to the front of the palace. Luo Feng carefully examined it. Ahead was a 500-meter-long and wide ancient wall, and within it was a 9-story high palace. Outside the palace stood 2 guards. Open the door. Yu Kuchi said. Who is he? Of the 2 guards, the one on the left frowned and pointed at Luo Feng. He's someone the leader wants to meet. Yu Kuchi frowned. Hurry and open the door. The leader didn't inform us of meeting anyone late at night today. The left guard continued to carefully analyze Luo Feng. He coldly said, and at this time, the leader has already begun to rest. The leader has long wanted to meet him, however there hasn't been a chance. Today I've managed to bring this lord over, of course I brought him here immediately. The white-robed Yu Kuchi's expression was serious, ordering, are you willing to bear the consequences? Hurry and open the door. Luo Feng frowned, communicated, what's the matter? Master, normally these 2 don't even bother to stop me. However, they are acting a bit strange today. Yu Kuchi replied mentally, he was suspicious too. Why aren't you opening the door? Yu Kuchi's expression was ugly, roaring, what's up with you two? The 2 guards' expressions changed. One of them smiled embarrassedly and said, Mr. Yu, we 2 brothers don't actually wish to stop you. Only today, the leader just got his hands on, anyway, it's not convenient for guests. If he was disturbed, he would very unhappy. If he really wishes to meet this man, we brothers will pass the message. The white-robed Yu Kuchi frowned and communicated to Luo Feng, Master, the leader is currently with a woman, what do we do? Enter. Luo Feng communicated. Under the effects of the soul technique, Yu Kuchi couldn't reject Luo Feng's order. Looking at the guard, go pass the word. The leader meeting this lord is more important than screwing some woman. Okay. The 2 guards immediately opened the door, and one of them headed in. Luo Feng stood outside and was looking through the open door. Leader, leader. The guard that went in shouted seriously within the palace. What's the matter? An enraged voice resounded. What's the matter? A sweet voice resounded. Family leader, Mr. Yu has brought someone over. He's saying that is someone you've been wanting to meet. Leader, will you meet him? The guard asked. Mr. Yu has brought someone. Suddenly the large door on the first level of the palace rumbled open. A casually dressed bare-footed tall and sturdy man in a luxurious nightgown looked out, his gaze landing on the black-robed Luo Feng. He immediately began to grow suspicious. Any more and the plot will be revealed. Luo Feng became a blur and rushed into the yard. 9 black silhouettes immediately rushed down from the upper levels of the palace. Simultaneously, silhouettes covered the skies and lands, rushing from all sides of the yard inwards. The pure feather family leader, his position was incredibly high and mighty. How could he not have personal bodyguards? 300 bodyguards. 9 great shadow guards. There's actually 9 universe levels. A superpower is indeed a superpower. A black-robed Luo Feng had a cold expression on. His eyes were ice cold as his arms extended. The 300 guards and 9 shadow guards that rushed out were all originally holding battle blades or knives, or their own personal weapons, and were prepared to control them to assassinate Luo Feng. However, under Luo Feng's powerful spirit energy control, the 300 guards used their own weapons to pierce their own heads. No. The 300 guards and 9 shadow guards, along with the 2 guards at the door, stared with fear. However, their strengths weren't enough to control their own weapons. With flashes of blades, knives, weapons. 311 heads were sliced off. Fresh blood floated in the darkness of the night. Only 3 people remained alive in the yard. The white-robed Yukuchi stood there stupidly, and the family leader of the pure feather family had fear in his eyes. Only Luo Feng's black robe swished, expressionless. In one step, Luo Feng had already reached beside the leader and grabbed him by the neck, like grabbing a little chicken. Following that, with just one step, his entire being vanished. Pure Feather family was far more ancient than the recent Rockwind family. The strongest warrior in Swallow Mound territory was coincidentally from the Pure Feather family. Pure Feather Dao. Domain Lord level 6, he was the oldest in the family currently. He was also the strongest and the true person controlling the family from the shadows. He was the true man with power. Just like how the Black Dragon Mountain Empire had an emperor, with many generations of successive emperors. In truth, however, the person with the true power was the god leader of the sacred land Black Dragon Mountain. Pure Feather Dao was the man that was truly in control. A pavilion that was completely purple with 3 levels, and the entire staircase was built with wood that was dyed purple. Just the cost of this construct alone was more expensive than the entire Pure Feather family's other territories. 3rd level. A black bearded middle-aged man dressed in a loose robe sat quietly on his bed with his eyes shut. Suddenly, a powerful energy ripple rushed from the northeast direction. Blood River World had other directions. East, south, west, and north were uniform. However, the absolute directions were different from Earth's. Pure Feather Dao's expression grew serious, immediately spreading out his spirit energy to sweep the area. Because he was a fighter, when compared to a spirit reader, his spirit energy was much weaker. However, when one reaches the Domain Lord level, sweeping with spirit energy was still an easy thing to do. Rumble. With the pavilion as the center, the torrent of spirit energy rippled in all directions, immediately sweeping the entire mansion and that particular palace. As he checked, his expression changed immediately. He rushed out from the bed and vanished. Within the palace that the family leader resided in, the smell of blood filled the air, as over 300 bodies were on the ground. Red and white stains the ground, it was disgusting to look at. And about the same time these 300 over people just fell. A bearded middle-aged man in a loose grey robe floated in the air above the palace. His eyes were raging as he looked down below. The palace's 2nd level window was open, and through it a beautiful woman was peeking through. After spotting the blood that flowed like a river, the scene caused her to shriek. In mid-air Pure Feather Dao's expression changed. Rumble. Mud yellow energy waves immediately engulfed the palace. Simultaneously, the waves wrapped itself around the white-robed Yukuchi and the lady that was hiding in the palace, dragging them into mid-air. Speak, what happened? Pure Feather Dao looked at the two, filled with rage. That beautiful lady's face was pale. However, Yukuchi only shook his head. I don't know. I just know that a black silhouette appeared suddenly, and after that I saw these over 300 people use their own weapons to kill themselves. And the family leader was taken away. Pure Feather Dao looked at the lady. Yes, it was Yukuchi. He brought someone to meet the leader only went out because of that. I don't know anything else. The beautiful lady shook her head. Pure Feather Dao looked at Yukuchi. Yukuchi, however, had a peculiar smile. His body violently exploded, the bones and other stuff that flew from the explosion pierced through the lady beside him. She stared wide-eyed at the 3 large holes in her chest. Shouting, "Save me." Almost all people on Blood River World were at least Star Traveler level, this woman too, hence even with holes in her chest, she hadn't died yet. From the distance, many silhouettes floated over. It was the family's strongest warriors and important figures. Elder, what's going on? Grandfather, what is this? The nurtured upper echelon of the family were all stunned as they looked at the large group of bodies in the palace. My God, amongst them there were the 9 shadow guards. Those were the 9 great shadow guards, a formidable force in the Pure Feather family. 9 cloud levels. Go and look for me and bring back the family leader. Pure Feather Dao raged. Simultaneously, his energy wave exploded about, almost like a formless blade piercing straight through that lady, leaving nothing but a mess. Yes. The group complied. Actually, from seeing the over 300 guards who were all dead, they had already guessed that the outcome of the family leader was not good. From hearing the story, he should have been taken away. Bastard. With mud yellow energy waves surrounding him, like a god in the night floating in mid-air, Pure Feather Dao was madly scanning the area with his spirit energy. He was a fighter, hence his spirit energy was more condensed and gentle. Its control and magnitude paled far in comparison to that of a spirit reader. However, to simply scan was not a problem at all. As the gravity of Blood River World was extremely huge, Pure Feather Dao's scan could only be spread up to about 80 kilometers. Where is he? Wrapped in the energy, he flew over for around 100 kilometers. In the dark night above Swallow Mound City, a mud-yellow light was swiftly flashing about, suddenly flashing to another region here and there, obviously searching the entire Swallow Mound City. Swallow Mound City, City Leader's Mansion. A tall and sturdy middle-aged man, with a dark green engraving on his forehead, walked along the palace's railings. He was dressed in a blood-red scaled armor. With his cold eyes, he was looking up at the sky, at Pure Feather Dao, who was searching all over Swallow Mound City, as he said softly, "This old punk, what is he raging about? To enrage this old punk this much, the Pure Feather family must have suffered a huge loss." His lips curled into a cold smile. He was the one with the most authority within Swallow Mound City, the city leader, Rockwind Xiong. However, in terms of power, he was still slightly weaker than Pure Feather Dao. As for why he was able to become the city leader of Swallow Mound City, there were two reasons. One of them was because he had absorbed a Blood River crystal. The second reason was because he had special connections with the world city leader in that territory. Pure Feather Dao, however, even though he was stronger, he couldn't absorb the Blood River crystal. Hence, he didn't have the right to become leader. Go crazy until you die. That would be the best. Rockwind laughed coldly, following which he gave an order to his underlings. Go and check to see what exactly happened with the Pure Feather family. Yes. A soft voice resounded. The Pure Feather family had roots that extended extremely deep into the city. As for this massacre and abduction of their family leader, what level of stupidity was this? To enrage the elder Pure Feather Dao to such a state that he was searching the whole city personally, and also to activate the entire family and all its departments to madly search about. At the same time, the city leader's Rockwind family, along with some other powers, all began to join in. The entire Swallow Mound City's undercurrent began to flow. The Yu family's Yu Yangta was a star level 9, his fleeing max speed had reached 8 kilometers per second. And Luo Feng, who was a universe level 9, with domain level 9, along with high comprehensions of the space origin law, could instantly accelerate and reach top speed. His instantaneous acceleration, even with the gravity of Blood River World, could reach up to 300 kilometers per second. When Luo Feng had grabbed the family leader back then, he wrapped him in spirit energy and immediately rushed into the skies, flying straight into the cloud levels. In the 15th level, 30,000 kilometers away from Swallow Mound City, Luo Feng grabbed the family leader and finally stopped. What do you want? Pure Feather Chong's expression was pale. Having had his Dantian destroyed the moment he was grabbed, his soul was now under heavy pressure from Luo Feng's powerful spirit energy. Why are you asking me? Luo Feng immediately grabbed the space bracelet from Pure Feather Chong. Naturally, that space bracelet had his spirit imprint. However, Luo Feng's spirit energy became like a long pike and forcefully broke through the spirit imprint seal, causing Pure Feather Chong's face to go even more pale. Quite wealthy. Luo Feng held onto the bracelet, carefully examining the items within. You want money? No problem. However much you want, you will get. Just don't kill me. Pure Feather Chong said. You are a spirit reader, you can make me forget everything here, and I won't even remember your appearance. Luo Feng frowned. Within the space bracelet, there were no Blood River crystals. Pure Feather Chong. Luo Feng looked at him. The family leader Pure Feather Chong, at that point, didn't even behave at all like the NA family leader. He suddenly felt enticed and hypnotized by the gaze of that black-robed youth before him. 1 second later, his gaze grew dark, and he looked at Luo Feng with passionate respect. Master. Luo Feng stood in the clouds. Looking at Pure Feather Chong before him, he said, let me ask you, do you know who has Blood River crystals? Does your Pure Feather family have any? Yes. Pure Feather Chong said without hesitation. Where are they? Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. With my family's elder. Pure Feather Chong replied respectfully. Elder. Luo Feng frowned. He had heard of a powerful domain lord within the family, however he hadn't really confirmed that before. Yes, the strongest in the Pure Feather family, also the strongest in Swallow Mound City. Pure Feather Chong said, the Blood River crystal is with him. However, even though he acquired that one, no matter how he tried, he couldn't absorb it. Hence the city leader position landed in the Rockwind family's hands instead. Your family elder is stronger than the city leader. Luo Feng had heard from him. Yes. Pure Feather Chong said respectfully. The city leader just became a domain level over 100 years ago. According to the elder, he can only be considered to be within the early stages of the domain level. However, my family elder is in the later stages already. Luo Feng's heart skipped a beat. From the looks of it, the city leader was about domain lord level 2 or 3. After all, he had only broken through over 100 years ago. Normal people breaking through required them to slowly absorb the energy. To go from level 1 to 9 required a very long time. Even in the universe, only the most elite of geniuses could receive nurture like Luo Feng's, as there was no need to waste time in such quantity-related training. Other than your family's elder, who else has the crystals? Luo Feng asked. The ones I can confirm are the elder. Another is the general of the Swallow Mound Army, Rockwind Zon. Pure Feather Chong said. Rockwind Zon, he is the younger brother of city leader Rockwind Xiong, he's on good terms with me. Back then he even took out a crystal to show off to me, saying it was something his older brother gave him to absorb. Ah? One is with your family elder, another is with Rockwind Zon. Luo Feng smiled and nodded. Under the influence of the soul technique, the Pure Feather family leader answered everything honestly, there wasn't any hint of concealing anything. Very good. Luo Feng stood within the clouds and asked, do you know if anyone else has the crystals? The process of becoming a blood warrior required one to first acquire 3 blood river crystals and absorb them successful. Only then would they truly be considered to have become a blood warrior. Once Luo Feng knew of the blood warrior and even the legendary black warrior, he naturally had some anticipation within. He wanted to first become a blood warrior and maybe later a black warrior. Even though in Blood River World, the black warrior was but a legend, since such a legend existed, there was a possibility of it happening. And obviously, with Luo Feng's personality, he wouldn't give up without trying. Everyone all regarded themselves as special and different. Luo Feng was the same, only that he knew himself better than anyone. Master, I can confirm that the family elder and the general of the Rock Wind Army have the crystals. The rest, I'm unable to guarantee. Although, there are some rumors. Pure Feather Chong replied respectfully. Rumors? Luo Feng frowned. Yes, it is about our city leader Rockwind Xiong. Even though I am unable to confirm if he has the crystals and how many he might have. Pure Feather Chong said, I can say with high possibility that the city leader Rockwind Xiong definitely has at least one that he hasn't absorbed. Ah? Luo Feng looked at Pure Feather Chong. Rockwind Xiong has an illustrious background, his teacher is the world's city leader of this side of the world. Pure Feather Chong explained. He succeeded in absorbing one crystal a long time ago. He had to wait till he broke through to domain level, after which he quickly became the city leader. And after that, he secretly gave his younger brother one crystal. To warriors, having more crystals is a good thing. After absorbing one, they would want to absorb another. Since he could give his younger brother one crystal, that means that it wasn't too hard for him to acquire more, at least there's a way for him. Pure Feather Chong said confidently, and with Rockwind Xiong's selfish personality, to be able to give his younger brother just one means he would at least have one more prepared for himself. I suspect he probably even has more. Luo Feng nodded. It made sense. After which, Luo Feng immediately killed Pure Feather Chong and took care of his body. In the dark night, he returned to Swallow Mound City's Flying Cloud Pavilion. Pure Feather family was deeply rooted within Swallow Mound City. Its roots went far deeper than the Rockwind family. If they were to be angered, the entire Swallow Mound City would definitely feel their wrath. Pure Feather family mansion, in the first level of that 3-level purple wood pavilion, Pure Feather Elder Dao squinted his eyes in his seat. The rest of the upper echelon of the family along with his grandchildren stood obediently at his sides. Within the large hall knelt 10 people, and outside of the hall knelt a 100. Grandfather, these are all the sentries and guard leaders from Yu Kuchi's mansion. They all personally saw Yu Kuchi bring a black-robed man. An old man with white hair, one that looked even older than Pure Feather Dao said respectfully. Speak, what did that black-robed man look like? Pure Feather Dao closed his eyes and said indifferently. No idea. The old man shook his head. Pure Feather Dao revealed a look of rage. He stared hard, his gaze was shooting out visible light beams at the old man. They, the 100 of them all saw the black-robed man, however none of them can recall his appearance. The old man continued, back then, they didn't feel anything special about it. Just that this black-robed man was very normal and there was nothing special about him. However now when they try and recall, his face appears blurred out in their memories, other than him wearing a black robe, they can't recall anything else. Pure Feather Dao turned to look at the group kneeling. Elder, we cannot recall, we really cannot recall. We truly saw his face back then, however now no matter how hard we try, we cannot recall. I even stared hard at him then, however now, the group of sentries all said fearfully. Pure Feather Dao was shocked. These sentries and guard leaders were all pinnacle sky levels, star level 9. To be unknowingly influenced by a warrior, even a universe level spirit level would find it hard to do. One had to have a much stronger spirit energy and consciousness level and control to reach such a level? When did such a warrior appear in Swallow Mound City? Pure Feather Dao pondered. However, the fact that he was so careful in entering here means he isn't a match for me. If he was stronger than me, he wouldn't have needed to be so careful. Just barging in would have done it. Listen well. Pure Feather Dao looked coldly at the family's upper echelon in the hall. Our Pure Feather family's family leader has been taken away under our surveillance and from under our noses. We don't even know if he's alive or dead. This is a humiliation to our family. We have to find this person, otherwise our Pure Feather family will be mocked at by countless people in Swallow Mound City. Go look. Check every suspicious person properly. The culprit's strength is at least at Pinnacle Cloud level, it might very likely be in the domain level. Check from all pathways, see which mysterious warriors have appeared. Remember, even if you found him, don't make a move. Immediately come inform me instead. Pure Feather Dao looked at the group. Even if Chong hasn't been killed, he's not fit to be the leader anymore. This search for the culprit is the test I am giving you all. Once this matter is concluded, I will pick the new family leader. Go now. Yes. The group of upper echelons' eyes gleamed brightly, they all replied simultaneously and swiftly left. Time to do their best. To become the new family leader, these upper echelons would all unleash all their hidden strengths to quickly check all the secret information about the mysterious warriors, or suspected mysterious beings. This way, all the information and news was quickly being gathered. Second day, daybreak. Rumble, 10,000 black-scaled armored soldiers rose to the sky. It was almost like a black cloud flying over, with a huge tall and sturdy dark red-scaled armored leader. His appearance was very similar to the city leader Rockwind Xiong, only with more madness and violence in his aura, his entire being seemed wild and savage. Rockwind Xiong sat on a green armored snake, spitting unhappily to the side, that no good Pure Feather Chong, getting abducted away, and still asking us for help. Big brother is too much too, asking me to help out. He, however that Pure Feather Chong. I wonder who he actually messed with, to actually get taken away from his own mansion. Hearing this makes me happy. Rockwind Xiong mocked softly. The two deputy generals beside twitched their faces as they heard this. This general of theirs controlled the Swallow Mound army, yet he did whatever he pleased. Him and that Pure Feather Chong were good friends, at the same time, they were a couple of scoundrels who wreaked havoc as they pleased. Scoundrels indeed, Pure Feather Chong's death made this Rockwind Xiong happy instead. And he wasn't rushed or slow, as he waited for daybreak to bring the army into search. General, ahead is Flying Cloud Pavilion. One of the deputy generals said respectfully. Rockwind Xiong glanced and said indifferently, Flying Cloud Pavilion is the best hotel in Swallow Mound City. With the culprit's level of strength and status, there's a high possibility he would stay there. General, if that person truly wanted to make a move on Pure Feather Chong, he probably wouldn't stay in such a place, but rather somewhere more secure and secluded. The other deputy general said softly. Rockwind Xiong slapped the face of that deputy general, causing fresh blood to fly. His entire body and the wild beast below him were both shocked. Idiot. Rockwind Xiong glanced coldly at him. If I say Flying Cloud Pavilion, then it is Flying Cloud Pavilion. Don't you know how to put on a show? Do you think we'll really find the culprit for the Pure Feather family? That deputy general nodded, not daring to make a sound. What an idiot. If you say such stupid things again, I'll have to change my deputies. Usually you seem pretty smart. Has your brain knocked into a wall today? Rockwind rubbed his chin and looked up. Looking at the distant Flying Cloud Pavilion, go. I'll give you a chance to redeem yourself. Get all of the cloud level guests and the warriors you think are strong within to all come out. I want to take a look at all of them. Yes. That deputy general who was slapped complied loudly. Immediately, he brought his underlings, a 10,000-strong army to rush into Flying Cloud Pavilion. Flying Cloud Pavilion's area had a diameter of 10 kilometers. The sudden entrance of such a big army caused a huge ruckus. Owner, it's not that I'm not giving you any face, but you too should know what happened. The general has given the order to get all of your cloud-level guests, and any guest you think may be powerful warriors to all come out. That deputy general sat high above on the wild beast and said, the large group soldiers stood behind him. Understood. We'll comply. That fat small-eyed owner gave the order and his large group of helpers led the way. Cloud level room 2, in a quiet pavilion. Luo Feng was dressed in a simple robe and was reading a book. It had been half a night since the incident, but according to Earth's time, it had been 2 to 3 days. That Pure Feather Chong was just killed by me. Right now the entire city is in an uproar, however, it doesn't affect me. I'll wait till tonight to make a move on Rockwind Xiong. Luo Feng made his plans while reading the book. Multitasking was very simple for him. Suddenly noise resounded from outside, roars and shouts. Quickly. Come out. Lord, it's an order by the Rock Wind General. Lord, please do me a favor and come out. Quickly. That way, quickly. The outside was getting noisier. Luo Feng frowned when he heard this. He had long guessed that Pure Feather Chong's death would stir a huge commotion, however he didn't expect them to come to Flying Cloud Pavilion so early in the morning. The footsteps outside swiftly got louder and louder. Suddenly the yard door was heavily pushed open, and 10 soldiers immediately rushed in. Led by a waiter, they walked into the pavilion. The waiter saw Luo Feng within and said apologetically, "Lord, the Rockwind General has given the order to look for the culprit. Lord, you should help out. Quickly, come out. Quickly." The group of soldiers rushed straight in, shouting at Luo Feng. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.